Hey everybody, happy February. I can't believe it. Here we are, Super Bowl week in Tampa Bay. And January blew by. It went so fast that I didn't have a chance to do a video update. And so I wanted to get one out tonight before we got too far into February. I tried earlier today and it was 19 minutes long when I tried to cover everything that I wanted to share with you. And Cammie just said, nobody's got 19 minutes to sit and listen to you give an update. So I agree. I think she's right. And what we're trying to do with the video formats is to provide you just quick, actionable intelligence from what God is doing here on the ground, and to do it in a bite-sized way because we know how busy you are. At the same time, I like the 19-minute update because there's so much that I want to share. So I would love to hear from you. If you would like a longer form update, you know, the letters got so long and then the video now could be so long. So I'm trying to find that balance of providing you with enough information so that you are looped in, you know how to pray, you know what we are doing here on the ground, and at the same time not just burden you with content that you don't have time to consume. We know how that is. So enough of that. Let me get straight to it. There are two things that I want to share and talk about just really quickly. One is the Lab Initiative. This is our initiative to go straight into culture and to share the life and beauty of the gospel with the world by entering culture right in that dark space of human trafficking. This year, we want to direct $100,000 in resource to the fight against human trafficking. And the Lab Initiative is special because we get to target those resources not just to keep the lights on for our partners, whether they're government agencies or ministries or nonprofit organizations. We get to direct those resources into the very specific things that they were trying to do. They're asking questions about how they could accomplish these powerful and dynamic kind of leading edge efforts in the fight against human trafficking, whether that's, again, enforcement, survivor care, demand reduction, or prevention. So the Lab Initiative is built to be a really dynamic, powerful tool in the fight against human trafficking. The other thing we fund through the Lab Initiative is direct action to rescue survivors. That happened in October of last year when we were able to put resource forward to actually help facilitate the rescue of one precious life. So again, we're proud of the Lab Initiative. It's built well to be catalytic in the fight against human trafficking, and we're excited this year to direct $100,000 through that initiative to the fight. So how do we do it? Where does $100,000 come from when you're so small, when you're an organization like V3? And we just believe by faith God is going to provide as we partner with people in this fight against human trafficking, and as we bring what we have. And so what does that look like? Our 5 loaves and 2 fish. First of all, it is our Buddy Brew coffee, our Freedom Roast blend that we created with Buddy Brew. And I gotta say, Buddy Brew is amazing. They have gone above and beyond to ethically source, package, market, create, help roast this incredible, delicious Freedom Roast coffee. They've gone above and beyond. So thank you to Buddy Brew. What an awesome company, awesome people. They do everything for the coffee. We get to partner, and our job is to connect that coffee now with 34,000 people around the world who will buy 1 bag of Freedom Roast coffee one time. When we do that, $100,000 of funding for the Lab Initiative directed to fight human trafficking. So here's how you can help. Making Freedom Roast a part of your daily coffee experience, that's number one. Go to labfreedomroast.com and you can just order a bag of coffee. That's easy. Second, and more importantly, would you help us share that? And you may say, well, I only know 5 people or 10 people. That's the power. Little by little, when us together, when we just little by little introduce 1 person, 10 person, 100 people to the Lab Initiative into Freedom Roast coffee, that's how it's going to happen. That's how we're going to get to 34,000 bags. So would you help us? Think outside of the box. Think about how you can share it, how you can pass that along, and maybe even it's just a text with the labfreedomroast.com. Just send it to a few of your friends who drink coffee and say, every time you buy a bag, $3 goes to fight human trafficking. Would you help us and buy 1 bag? You can help us kind of bundle and be those boots on the ground to create that grassroots movement. I just believe as we take what Buddy Brew has done, we steward that well, and we introduce it to 34,000 people around the country, around the world. I just believe God's going to bless that effort, and He's going to provide for the Lab Initiative. That's number one. Number two, I have to share, God is doing something extraordinary. Part of our ministry is to catalyze the way the church works together. And in an effort to do that, we want to bring the church together and help the church lead the effort to fight human trafficking. This is an opportunity for us to just do what Jesus would be doing and allow and then be able to point back to our Father in heaven. That's literally what this project is designed to do. And we want to get the churches involved, not just churches here in Tampa Bay, but churches around the country, around the world. Florida is one of 3 hotspots for human trafficking. Why not, with us on the ground, just partner with people in Ohio, people in Seattle, people in LA, people in Colorado and Washington, D.C. If your church back home would partner with us in this Lab Initiative, here's what God did last week. It blew our minds. We've been provided a $35,000 matching grant for churches to be involved. And it's not like a government grant. This is a private funding to help catalyze the church in this fight, dollar for dollar, up to $35,000. So every time your church gives, if you've got a small church in Oregon and you say, we want to participate in the fight against human trafficking, go to your pastor, talk to your missions committee folks. If you direct $100 from your church to the Lab Initiative, it turns into $200. If you deliver $10,000, it turns into $20. God's just blessed this already with that matching grant. So would you do 2 things? Just talk to your pastor, to your leadership, to your missions committee, and just talk to them about human trafficking. Ask what you're doing in your local area, how you can help with survivor care in your own backyard. That's number 1. Number 2, ask if they would be willing to partner right now to help fund the Lab Initiative. And you and 4, 5, 10 of the people in the church could get together and say, you know what? We want to do this one time to partner with what God is doing. And we just believe God is going to bless that. And when He does, if we get $35,000, the match kicks in. That's $70,000 of our $100,000 goal. Absolutely incredible. So thank you. Most importantly, pray, pray, pray. Would you just continue to pray? Write it on your mirror, write it on your refrigerator. We're going to pray for human trafficking to end, for captives to be set free, for there to be resource for all the survivor cares, for those lives to be fully restored, for people to have jobs that have criminal records and want out of that life. We're just going to pray, and we're going to pray boldly, and we're going to not stop. We're going to ask and seek and knock and pray, pray, pray. So would you make it an effort in prayer? Wrestle before God for freedom for captives and restoration for these survivors, and for funding for all of the incredible people on the front lines who are doing this work. That's what we want to be able to do with the Lab Initiative. And a part of it is not just giving, but it's the prayer that is happening all over the country for this issue. So thank you so much for partnering there. Second thing I want to share, and this will be the last thing, you know our ministry to the churches. We believe flourishing pastors, flourishing churches equal flourishing cities. And so we want to do everything we can to pour into the local church and to care for pastors. We're doing that through our community of practice here and in Detroit. We're doing that in every way we can with local pastors. We're also doing that through our affiliate churches. These are churches that partner at a deeper level in specific areas, and we form a long-term relationship to partner with them on the ground and help what God is doing in their area. Element Church is one of those churches. You've heard us talk about Element likely in the past. We've had a relationship through the community of practice. Well, we are celebrating tonight because they are officially now an affiliate church. And that means we're going to be pouring deeper investment into their church, and we want to surround them with love and surround them with prayer. So would you join me in a couple things? Number one, celebrating Element Church, just the move of God to kind of fuse us together. Because now we're partnered with United Hearts Church, we're partnered with Element Church, we've got the V3 Church, Redeemer City Church up in Tampa Heights, and we've got Carl working up in Detroit. So God just continues to expand our ministry in the church. But Element Church is a special church. We believe that God's going to be doing incredible things there. And I want to ask you to pray for the body at Element Church, and then pray for the leadership, and then specifically write this down. Pray for Pastor Benjamin and his wife Erin, and Pastor Melody and her husband Chris. just circle that, write them down, and add that to your list. This is a part of V3's ministry, to just intercede behind the scenes. If we will pray, and if all of us will join together, and we'll pray for the Lab Initiative, and we'll pray for these flourishing of churches, that's the most powerful thing that we can possibly do. And I'm so grateful for you giving up the time to let me even just talk about these incredible things. I mean, if you could sit with us and our team, you would be amazed. Every week we come back and we just go, look at what God is doing. So I really appreciate being able to do this with you. I wish we could do it more and longer, but I know how busy you are. So I'll leave you with this. You're not alone. We say it in our team meetings, but it's us together. And this has been a tough year. The last year has been really tough for so many people. A lot of loss, a lot of challenge, a lot of sickness. And so you're likely feeling some of that too. And I want you to know you're not alone. We count you a part of our family and our team. If there's a way that we can pray for you or be in your corner, would you reach out? That's part of what we love to be able to do too. So we love you, we pray for you, we're encouraged by you, and we want to do the same, and we want to build that relationship in 2021. So if there's a way we can be in your corner and for you, reach out and let us know. And if it's simply just make shorter videos, that's fair game. Send that too. So please join us in praying for Tampa Bay. Just a couple days, Super Bowl kicks off, and all the things that happen around that. We're just praying that light would invade darkness, and that the reputation of our city would change, and that the reputation around the Super Bowl would change, that this year would be a disrupting year in the enemy's attempt to see lives shattered. We just believe God's going to intervene. So join us in that prayer. Pray for Tampa Bay, and we'll catch you after the Super Bowl. Go Buccaneers. Have a great week.